The wildfires that occur in the United States every year, particularly in the western regions, are the result of a combination of natural and human-made factors. The reason these fires seem to happen year after year is due to a cycle of conditions that make it easier for fires to ignite and spread. Here's a breakdown of why this happens. 1. Climate change, rising temperatures. Global warming is increasing the frequency and intensity of heat waves. Hotter conditions dry out forests, grasslands, and other vegetation, making them more susceptible to fire. Drought. Many western states, like California, often experience severe droughts due to climate change, which leads to dry vegetation that acts as fuel for wildfires. Changing rain patterns. Warmer temperatures have altered precipitation patterns, leading to wetter winters and drier summers. This creates the perfect conditions for vegetation to grow rapidly, only to dry out later and become more prone to catching fire. Second, forest management practices. Fire suppression. For much of the 20th century, there was a policy of aggressively suppressing all wildfires. While this kept fires from occurring, it also allowed underbrush and dead trees to accumulate, creating a large amount of fuel that could feed larger, more destructive fires when they finally do occur. Controlled burns. There's also an increasing recognition that controlled or prescribed burns, when done safely, are needed to reduce excess vegetation and prevent massive wildfires. However, these burns are often controversial or restricted, and without them, fuel builds up. 3. Human activity. Ignition sources. Many wildfires are sparked by human activities. These can include campfires, discarded cigarette butts, power lines, vehicle accidents, or even intentional arson. Urban development. As urban sprawl continues, homes and businesses are built closer to forests and rural areas. This is known as the wildland-urban interface, where fires can easily spread from wild areas into populated regions. Agricultural practices. In some cases, fires are set intentionally for land clearing and farming and logging operations, but they can easily get out of control. Fourth, flammable vegetation. Invasive species. Invasive plants, such as cheatgrass, can make areas more fire-prone. These plants grow quickly and dry out more easily, creating more fuel for wildfires. They've spread in many parts of the U.S., especially in the West. Natural vegetation cycles. Some forests are adapted to regular fires. For instance, certain types of pine trees rely on fire to help their seeds germinate. However, when fire is suppressed for too long, fuel builds up, and when fire does occur, it can be much more destructive. 5. Wind and weather. High winds. In many areas, especially in California, high winds, like the Santa Ana winds, can spread fires quickly, causing them to jump over roads and natural fire breaks, leading to large-scale destruction. Lightning strikes. In some regions, wildfires are ignited by lightning, especially during dry thunderstorms. Lightning is a natural ignition source that has always been part of the wildfire cycle in many areas. Sixth, cultural and economic factors. Population growth and land use. As more people move into wildfire-prone areas, the likelihood of fires being started, intentionally or accidentally, increases. The need for homes, infrastructure, and agricultural land in fire-prone areas can escalate fire risks. Tourism and recreation. Many wildfires are sparked by outdoor activities, whether by campers, hikers, or recreational vehicles. These activities often take place in regions that are naturally susceptible to fires. Why does this happen? Again and again, the interplay of these factors creates a repeating cycle. Even though there are efforts to manage and mitigate the risk of wildfires, such as fire breaks, controlled burns, and improved fire suppression methods, the underlying causes remain persistent. As long as climate change continues to exacerbate dry conditions, and as long as human activity continues to intersect with fire-prone areas, wildfires will likely remain a regular occurrence. Efforts to reduce the severity of wildfires focus on things like improving forest management, reducing emissions that contribute to climate change, and increasing public awareness and preparedness. But these are long-term solutions, and unfortunately, wildfires are likely to continue as part of the natural cycle of many ecosystems in the U.S.